So we're going to talk a little bit more about how the Marvel mechanic works in Rising Tide Beyond Earth, as well as we're going to be able to see one of these big brains for ourselves for the very first time.
So as you can see, we have our first message from the economic advisor. There are a few things that we're going to see. There's a lot more discussion going on, and I really like that. So I believe they're pronounced. I don't even know if I want to pronounce them. Communiques. I'll let you guys do the intelligent work because I am not the one to do that sort of thing. But I mean, we'll see them pop up. Communiques, something like that. Where instead, you know how like in Civ 5 and I think even base Beyond Earth, people would just pop up and talk to you. And that you know, it stops the city processing and stuff like that, or it stops, you know, the turns from processing and things like that. That's not happening anymore. You're going to see little updates and messages from other AIs. So our reports is that your land improvements, stuff like that. And those are going to give you a little like insight into this new respect and fear system. So the respect and fear system are, I guess, they're like gameplay mechanics that allow you to show that allow for a player to view how the AI sees that player. So if an AI respects you, then they're more than likely to ally you. And as you can see, there were requirements to be able to grab an alliance. It was a 4-4, so that's 4 fear. You have to be at least at level 4 respect and level 4 fear. Obviously, I think, and I haven't dived into this too much, I'm not 100% on this mechanic or this idea, but I think that just fear, you just have to have somewhat of an army. I'm not sure if victory conditions is also going to play into the fear mechanic. If you're maybe close to a victory, maybe an AI will fear you more a little bit as well. But I know that for sure. I think that just army size in general can increase, you know, other nations' fear towards you. As you can see, the Russian. The Russian faction does not have any fear towards me. Actually, no one has any fear towards me. As you can see, I'm actually looking at it right now. This is the North Sea Alliance, and we have the Pan-Asian Cooperative, the Commonwealth of... I just totally lost it because I'm going too fast here. But yeah, I'm checking in on some of this stuff, and maybe I get to dive into a little bit more. But yeah, I'll get into how respect works a bit because I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. I might try to increase my trade. So as you can see, I'm still looking into my affinities. It's still early on, so I haven't picked up anything just yet. So yeah, I'm going to pay some diplomatic capital to increase this trait, my natural unique ability. So as I said, you've got political, military, and domestic traits. Each individually are going to offer you so much, and you can pick one per game. You can also abandon it if you want, I believe is what, if I understood correctly. So yeah, I can select any one of these, and I can continue to invest more diplomatic capital into these tiers, and they all have like separate bonus. I mean, there's a lot of different variations you can go with, which is really, really cool. And I think a lot of people think that, you know, Beyond Earth can't be very replayable because, and I saw that I did want to go for a military because I wanted to go after some nations here. You know, people think that because there's not that many nations and not that many leaders in Beyond Earth, it doesn't have that much replayability. Well, I mean, if it now certainly does because of the amount of traits you can introduce. It certainly does, and then just to be able to kind of update your unique ability to that 3rd tier. I mean, things get crazy. Those bonuses get insane after that. As you can see, I'm trying to destroy an alien out there that's getting kind of closer to my city. So I think I find... Oh yeah, I'm looking into the quest system right now, and I realize that I had totally passed one up. Mine, meteorite craters. As you can see, I have a gunboat healing currently in my crater, and then research computing. There's a few of these that we might have seen. Victory condition. Now, victory conditions are going to be completely balanced, completely rebalanced. Where I know that the developers were letting me know that. Oh yeah, and yes, I'm probably gonna go for the free maintenance. Oh no, do I? I don't even know. The AI or the developers were letting me know that the victories they were going to try to balance out so that there isn't like one specific victory that's a little bit easier than the others. You know, there's only so much you can do with that. So we'll see. I think that I know that they're gonna try, but I mean, we as Civ players are pretty good at figuring things out and finding probably the easiest victory. But we'll see. I mean, I don't know if. Who knows? I'm sure it's not going to be like before where I believe that there was one specific victory that was just way too easy that most people would just turn off because it was too easy. I can guarantee you it's probably not going to be like that as base BE. I'm sure that it'll be a little bit more balanced where, you know, things will be obviously there's going to be easier victories, but yeah, a lot more complicated now with Rising Tide. So as you can see, I'm scrolling over the ultrasonic fence, and you know, the ultrasonic fence was a big building in the beginning, because once you built that building, it absolutely cleared out your borders where aliens could not cross into your territory. Well, that is not a thing anymore. Now, the way the ultrasonic fence works is that it severely what was the term that they made? Because it's very, the way I read it, I was like, what does that mean? It's something like they're unlikely to enter your territory. Something like unlikely. That's not, you know, word for word, but something like they're unlikely of entering your territory. That is the way they explained it to me. The way they've kind of programmed, I guess, the AI is that something about there are a number of tiles that surround the city that the AIs for sure won't go in, but there are some that are opened for the aliens to go in. So I guess I'm not 100% on that, but that's, I think, off the top of my head, something about that. So aliens still enter. I mean, the point is that the aliens will still enter your cities, and this is a big, huge implication, because aliens are no longer insignificant by the time you built the ultrasonic fence. They were almost insignificant with base BE once you built that fence up. Obviously, you still had to go out and colonize and go out and explore, and that was still kind of tough to protect your colonists. But now aliens will still enter your territory. I get kind of completely pillaged, I think, by the end of this campaign by a sea dragon that just goes into my territory and starts messing up everything. So it's not... Aliens are still very much a threat throughout the game. And I think I've been going on for a while now without knowing that I'm unhealthy. I think I'm just kind of focusing in on going for that proximity, that prosperity virtue, and that'll kind of fix everything for me. Yeah, these hydrocorals, as you can see, they don't move themselves, but they grow more hydrocorals next to them, and then it's kind of like this domino effect where as they get bigger, they start to grow, and it just, you know, it's an ongoing sort of thing. As you can see, those big ones are also providing 1 science yield. I didn't notice that until right now. That is pretty cool. So anyways, also another thing that I was interested in, the first thing, I think the biggest thing that I was curious in when exploring Rising Tide was the... Okay, hold on. I want to see what I'm going to do here. I'm still trying to figure out who respects me and who fears me. Again, like I said, you have certain limits where to be cooperative, you've got to have a 3-3, both 3 respect and 3 fear. And alliance has got to be a 4-4. So far, no one fears me because I just don't have an army, I think. As soon as I start to build up an army, that gets fixed. But I've got 105 diplomatic capital to use. I'm doing 5 per turn. I'm investing heavily into the increased production when building military units, because I know I want to go to war with somebody just to kind of show off some offensive mechanics. I don't think I pull anyone down into a war. I might. I don't know. I can't remember if I got an alliance before I went to war with somebody, but I definitely went to war for sure against somebody. So because this new introduction of affinities were kind of discussed when the announcement of Rising Tide came by, I was wondering if that meant all 3 completely new strategic resources. As we know, the affinities are supremacy, harmony, and why do I always forget this one? Supremacy, harmony, and purity. Well, all 3 of those have strategic resources like floatstone, like Phyrexite, like the other one. I'm not going to remember this one, but I will stumble upon it later. All 3 of these have their own unique strategic resource that's required to build some of their most powerful units. So I thought they were going to introduce another 3 resources, and I didn't like that. So when I noticed that there weren't, a lot of these resources are just providing extra yield, and they're not any sort of strategic thing for some sort of, you know, one of the 3 new hybrid affinities. No, that's not how it works. I guess the way that it was explained to me is that you're going to have a mixture of both when you do those hybrid affinities, because all of the hybrid affinities have their own unique units. You're not looking at like a combination of purity and supremacy. You're not looking at that. You're looking at their own individual unique units, which is really, really awesome. As well as I think they're going to get their own art styles too. Some of the leaders, whenever we do look at them, because you know you'll be able to, as you grow, you'll see this. Oh, and I'm using the movements the first time I move my city. And as you can see, it doesn't take too long. Yeah, I can do it pretty fast, 5 turns. As you can see, and with the North Sea Alliance, you can build it really fast. But yeah, so no, the way it was explained to me is that you're just going to need a combination of some of the unique strategic resources, and I apologize if that's not the official term for it, but that's pretty much what it is. Xenomass is the one I was looking for. So if I went for, and I can't remember off the top of my head what resource correlates with what's purity, or what affinity, I mean, but you're gonna need like kind of a combination of both, and that's the way it was described to me. So I like that a lot. I was really worried about, having the map filled out with just way too many icons, and it was just, ergonomically, I think, and I guess aesthetically, a lot better that they didn't introduce even more strategic resources. As you can see, there's already six of them to look out for, and there's a nice little movements that or like movement animation that our city is going to get. Now, something to remember, and something to be very careful when building your cities on the ocean, is that if you want to move, and movement of that city is almost essential for strategies, you've got to move the cities. And there's lots of different strategies that me and the developers were talking about when moving your cities and having a bunch of ocean settlements like this. But you can't work every single tile, because when you move over that tile, everything gets destroyed. I don't think your own units will, but I know they mentioned, and I'm not sure if this is going to get fixed. I think they said that they might fix this, or they might not fix it. It was part of the game. They might change it. Who knows? But whatever is in that tile, whether it's a tile improvement or an alien or an enemy, when that city moves, so in 5 turns, when that city moves, everything on the tile is going to get destroyed, which is really, really cool. And I talked about that in episode 1 briefly when I just discussed like what were some of the implications of war with these moving cities. And as you can see, there's a huge there's a huge dragon. I think that, what is those? It's a big, huge squid thingy. And I can't remember the top of my head. I will remember it later on. Obviously, there's no way. You have to get incredibly lucky to be able to time, a city movement like that. I mean, when I first thought, I was like, oh, that's going to be bad because it's going to be super easy. There's no way you're going to be able to time it perfectly where your city moves right on that turn while there is also an enemy there. I guess if you're surrounded, it's possible. Very, very much possible. But it's really unlikely if there's like a small siege of your city to kind of perfectly, land on an AI. But I think it's definitely something to take note of. And again, you can move those cities closer towards an empire to maybe get up maybe get an extra bombardment from city bombardment, because city's bombardment is pretty strong. It's a significant attack when kind of defending your settlements and your colonies. So yeah, as you can see, there's lots of hydrocoral. Again, and I really like the mechanic, because you will not be able to move around those. Those are hard to kill. I mean, I could barely kill a medium-sized one. Just a medium-sized one was very tough. And now I start to go back and realize, wait a second, I'm supposed to, well, I'm not sure if I do it here, but there's a point where I realize, wait a second, I've got to actually explore that meteorite crate. And I might do it here. I'm not 100% though. Doing 15 science, again, I know that I'm unhealthy, and that's something that's fine. If I was going for like the perfect strategy to win this, I probably would have figured out the health, but I was just like, you know what, it's fine. I want to explore technologies and tech webs and stuff like that. I don't have time. No one's got time to fix health. I want to see all these new things. So it's a sea dragon, right? No, this is not a sea dragon. That's a kraken. I'm sorry. I'm losing it today. I'm losing my mind, I think. So I think I discovered somebody down here, and that's who I decided to go to war with. We're going to go to war with whoever we can closest to. So let me tell you about a strategy that one of the developers were mentioning to me. What you can do is have a city, a coastal city or an ocean city like the one we have in the east, continue to move south. Like you continually have him move south. Obviously, this isn't the most ideal strategy because you want buildings in your cities. That's kind of crucial, I guess, right, for increasing yield and production and all those sorts of activities. But what they did is they improved like their borders with workers, and then they continued to move that city down like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 tiles south. Then they introduced another colonist, and then they did the same thing. Then 2 cities were moving, 5 to 6 tiles down south, and then they introduced another colonist. So these tiles were already worked with workers, so it's like, boom, they were able to get a, one city down with one population that already has great yields, and they were obviously able to grow really, really quickly. So you in that way, in that aspect, you're able to kind of grow your cities a lot faster, and you can just continue with that mechanic. I mean, if you have the health for it, you can continue with that. I don't know if you're gonna be able to sustain that sort of thing. Here's another new message, and this is actually an agreement recommendation. Again, I didn't jump into the agreements too much, and I really, really wish I would have. I was so captivated by just all the new things I can do diplomatically that I didn't think about it. As you can see, these meteorite crash site or these meteorite craters are just all over the place, and I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I didn't explore them. Nice. We're gonna get a petroleum well, probably making my health situation a little bit worse. Dang, I don't think I built an ultrasonic fence. Here it is. Strongly discourages. That's the term that I was kind of confused about. I was like, what does that mean exactly? Strongly discourage. At some point, I do start to invest in development. I think it might be research development because the faction that I'm playing is, increases that production when working developments a lot more. So eventually I do that, and it's wow, like you can really make a fast comeback in almost any category with this faction, which is pretty amazing. I very much appreciated the fact that I can be really far behind in science, but with this faction, if I just invest a few turns, I'm going to catch up pretty fast. Not, there's obviously balancing involved in there, but it was nice. Early on in the game, I can do that. I'm sure that won't be the case later on, but early in the game, there we go. So I think I see the capital of Freeland, and I see this settlement here, and I'm like, no, dude. I don't think so. So this is when my brain finally starts to turn. Of course, I always like that old Earth relic, but I am trying to fix my happiness or my health situation now that I'm starting to get it. One thing I do like is that the advisors are still back. The economic advisor, the military advisor, is still kind of recommending certain technologies to go down. And that's something that I try to utilize as much in BE as I can, because I still have not perfected the strategy of that tech web yet. Still have not perfected it. Finally going after that mission of that expedition that was right next to my capital. I don't know why it took me so long. My raptor bug, I think I grabbed from somebody. So I don't know if I'm able to. I think I explore it in the last video. In this last video, in a few videos from now, I guess I mean, is that when you get to level 3 Harmony, there's this all new mechanic where you can leash enemy. Oh, the artifact system. Well, before I get into that, I'm gonna look at the artifact. We're gonna look at the artifact system. By the way, some really hilarious descriptions are built in this. So each artifact is gonna give you yields. We have 5 science and 32 culture. So I'm going to complete the research now because I'm ADD and I need it right there. I'm very much like an impulsive person. You guys probably know that. Very impulsive. I do things right there. But if I were to keep a hold of those artifacts and combine them for, a really good, kind of like the way Civ 5's culture system works, where you combine great works, that's kind of the way I kind of read into it, where if you combine these artifacts into kind of unified 3 or maybe even a pair would be enough if they have some sort of linkage in whether it's their history or whatever it may be. You're going to get an even bigger yield than just paying for them instantly like that. Again, like I said, I'm very impulsive, so I saw that 32 extra culture and I was like, oh, I need that right now, and I did it, but unfortunately I never really got to see the big bonuses that that artifact system provides when you stay a hold of it. So that's another reason why you do need to explore. The artifact system is very in depth, and it can really provide a whole bunch. And I really like the push that the developers are doing, the push for players to explore. I think that it's always naturally been there for a Civ series, for you to explore and to find out. There's the marvel that I was mentioning. You can very much tell that there's something really weird going on here, and now I've been given a new mission to go out and find more of these brains, and that's how I can get this one-time extra bonus for my, or I don't think it's one time, I think it's throughout the game I get this bonus. I don't know what it is exactly, but bonus yield or something like that. So yeah, I completely blanked out. I was impulsive artifact system. Yeah, so naturally the Civ 5 series has always been there. There's the I'm looking for the quest system right now. I think it's under. No, it's not found at an outpost. It might be for your eyes only, I believe. So yeah, naturally Civ 5 series is very much all about exploration. Just to find out where the other nations are and, possible, new areas to settle in. But now it's even more crucial because of all the new mechanics that have been introduced. Very, very important that you go out and explore, find artifacts, find research pods, find the marvels, and along with all of the other things, why it's important in most of, the Civilization series as a whole to go after stuff. And we're going to begin to trade. I didn't want to trade to Jim Boomba at the moment, I don't think, because I was going to go to war with them soon. But they're going to get a lot of science back, actually. They're getting +7 science back. Dang, am I making that much science? I didn't even realize that. yeah, I think I'm going to just provide my city with extra food and production. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna have to stop right there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the third video.